Hello and welcome to the 21 Days Face Your Fears Online Challenge. I'm Bristena transformation facilitator, energy therapist and writer, and my mission is helping people heal their past so as to be able to live the life of their bliss. I'm super excited to be your host on your journey of personal growth through fearlessness and the power of community. Today I have a special guest. Her name is Marisa Alcaide Herman. Hi Marisa!
Hi.
Marisa is an artist and a Spanish teacher. Since she was very little, Marisa has been extremely inquisitive and would never stop asking until she found the answers. This natural curiosity led her to study science, completing a PhD in molecular biology and a postdoctorate. On the path that she chose, she discovered that science doesn't have all the answers. She understood that the rational mind is an amazing tool, yet a tiny little speck in the vastness of the universal mind on intelligence. She believes it is a gift to be alive in these times of change and paradigm shift. She truly believes in the upcoming actualization of a collective reality that reflects the awakened individual. Once we become aware of our true divine essence, unconditional love, and life force energy, we embody the joy, the peace, and the freedom that is our natural state of being. Her journey towards freedom and truth has allowed her to explore many passions. Holistic, intuitive living from the heart is her motto. Marisa loves to express creatively and authentically and assist others to do the same. Hi Marisa and welcome to the challenge. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm very curious on your journey so far. What were some of the main fears that you experienced and how have you been working through them? Would you like to share a little bit on that?
Yeah. So one of the main fears, I suppose, it was to leave my parents' home because I was raised there, and when like you feel protected, you feel like you have everything you need, and traveling to study to another city when I went to university, I had to kind of transcend a fear that was big at the time. Now I look at it and it seems nothing because I'm a different version, more evolved version of myself. But at the time, it seemed big. And then I was still in the country, in Spain. Then there were other fears. But more than fears, there were like challenges that I needed to kind of go through to tests to prove myself that I could. So I think they're pretty much the same. It's a different word for the same thing. For example, to live into myself, that was one of these challenges that I pursued. So that's that. Then fear of death is quite a big thing, and fear of losing someone you love so much. So when you get heartbroken, you have to let go of a toxic relationship, but you feel so attached to it. That was a huge fear I transcended and kind of was a major thing for my spiritual awakening.
Okay. Would you like to expand a little bit more on that? Letting go of toxic relationship. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, well, when I experienced this toxic relationship that I was so attached to, I I would give everything. Like I was in this helper mentality and rescuer, right? I wanted to um, bring him out of his darkness, so to speak. But obviously, I wasn't aware then when I was doing that. I was kind of trying to fill a gap that I felt inside by doing so, because I was kind of looking outside and wanting to change him or change the way he was and alleviate his suffering so I could feel good. But obviously, we all have different journeys and paths, and we all have to do our inner work. So it wasn't my role to fix anything in anyone. But it was my role to realize after a lot of times hitting a wall that I wasn't paying attention to my soul needs and my growth. And basically, the major realization that I had then is that there is unconditional love that I was thinking I had, and it was felt that I had for that person. um, I didn't need to direct it into that person in the way I was directing it, which was very toxic dynamic for both of us, and created suffering and like a roller coaster of highs and lows, but very toxic. I realized that I was the source of this love. So I am love. Love is within me. And I had chosen to direct it in that way. But now I could choose to direct it first to this expression and then more in a like 360 degrees. Right? And so that was a major thing actually.
Okay, and for somebody who is experiencing a same dynamic of toxicity in a relationship, of codependency, do you have any suggestions or recommendation or pieces of advice on how to liberate themselves from that toxicity and how to realize that the love is within themselves and to be able to connect to that source of love within and not to need it from external sources?
Yeah, I would even what worked for me when I didn't have a clue of how to proceed is um, really I prayed. I didn't know who to. But the intention, just the intention to have the thought, the very intention of wanting to have an experience, a healthy, balanced, non-toxic life and relationships. That very thought is like a seed, and so you send it out there to the universe. For example, at night when you go to sleep, before going to sleep, having that intention, um, asking the universe, trusting your journey, trusting that that is not normal. Because another thing that when you are so caught up in that dynamic, you start believing that it's actually maybe it's normal or maybe something wrong with me, and then you keep trying. So two things: there's nothing wrong with you. I would say to that person, you are beautiful as you are. You don't have to go through such toxicity. Take the deep breath and the courage to at the beginning with the intention to let go of it, and then life will show you the way.
So it's all about surrendering to life guiding us, and
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a big one, this letting go of people that we no longer resonate with, and that we realize that being in close proximity with them is only doing us damage or harm. And it's about honoring
Yeah,
ourselves and realizing that it's time to move on, it's time to begin a new chapter.
right.
And we wish them all the best on their journey, but if life is taking us in different directions, we have to honor and respect that and wish them
Yes,
farewell on their journey.
exactly. We can love them from kind of, I call it a healthy distance. So we don't have to get involved too much in, and wish them the best. And it's a learning process because what took me 9 months in this relationship I'm talking about that was quite intense. Recently, like last year, a year ago or so, it took me 3 days, 2 dates to realize, wow, like I'm going into a vortex of a toxic relationship. I could see it. You can see it because you are so much more aware of these dynamics, and then you stop it just on time before any attachment, before any entanglement. So yeah, trust your intuition, and if something inside you says this is not right, then it's not right.
I love the fact that you're a very intuitive person and all your art is based on channeling intuition and um, expressing yourself creatively. So, for any artists out there who are listening to this interview, do you have any tips or strategies on how to let go of their fears of expressing themselves or fears of of their art not being liked or not being received well?
Right, I understand. Yes, well, because I haven't received formal training in arts, because I studied science as a formal training. But I'm friends with many artists. I'm aware that have received this training. I'm aware that they get a bit caught up in the technicalities, and the rules, and what is correct and what is not. And exactly, they lose touch with this inner child that we all have, and this um, passion and this playfulness, which is what I enjoy doing with my art. So my tip would be, it's not about you creating art for others to like it. It's about you creating art for you to express yourself and to enjoy and to nourish and nurture your soul, your because the soul needs to be nourished by expressing expressing creatively. This is a need, as well as we need to breathe and we need to drink water. We need to express creatively, be it dancing, which is as well art, painting, writing, poetry, speaking, spoken word, anything. So any artist in any category of art, just get in touch with this part of you that really enjoys doing what you're doing, and be there fully. And then whatever the result is, there's always going to be people who like what you create and people who don't like what you create. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you enjoy the process. I think that is the key. That would be. And there is no wrong or bad way of doing things, in my view.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are always going to be people who dislike it or like it, but it's just a matter of you enjoying what you're doing and nourishing your soul. And indeed, what just came to my mind right now, for people, we're doing this challenge for facing our fears, and I think art would be a beautiful venue for expressing some as a way of transcending the fears through art.
Right. That's one of the things I do, actually. I facilitate, as you know, you came to one of them, creative workshops, and where I provide the materials and allow everyone to feel totally free to express whatever they want to express without having a voice telling them what is right or what is wrong, but praising them and encouraging them to express themselves. So yeah, I enjoy doing that, and this is a beautiful tool. It is a beautiful tool. Um, the media that I choose is visual arts and painting, but writing as well. I've been to workshops facilitated by other facilitators on creative writing that I enjoy very much, and this is something that I think you also
Yes, poetry is
do. And
my preferred means of artistic expression. I love it so
yeah,
much.
and it's so beautiful what you write, because it's coming from that place of joy, from your heart, and so it just flows. So yeah, doing something artistic is a beautiful tool and beautiful therapy, actually, to release fears and to face fears.
Absolutely, and I will, in the exercise PDF that I will send alongside this interview, I will provide an exercise for people who like to express creatively and overcome their fears in doing so. And another point is, I remember during our workshop at the beginning of the year, you were saying that um, artistic expression would serve two purposes. One would be the catharsis, the liberation. You have a lot of stuff going on inside of you, and by putting it in a visual form, you let it out, and it's no longer inside of you, it's no longer bothering you or
Right.
tormenting you inside. So you put it out there and you look at it and you see, okay, I can move on now. And on the other hand, it's this creative expression of your soul that is just
Yeah.
maybe an intention that you like to channel through artistic expression, and or a dream or aspiration that you put there. So it's twofold. Do you have any other ideas on that?
Yeah, that's right. Like there is no limits to what art can do, or we can experience through art. As you said, sometimes I found myself in like a non-clear state of mind or emotional turbulence, so to speak, and not quite sure how to move forward and how to release that. And yes, I've grabbed a white canvas and some paintings. I'm just express myself, let it out, like painted it out,
Yes, let it
know?
out.
And then feel totally, almost like magically relieved
Absolutely.
and clear. And that's one thing. And then, as you say, some other times there is this clarity and this peace inside, and then the approach is totally different. And then I have as well a white canvas, but now it's almost like the paint and the brush is painting by itself what my soul wants to express, and I don't know the outcome. Before I didn't know the outcome either, but now pieces of art with this approach tend to be much more harmonious and like with a message underlying. Uh, yeah, so
I love
just
that.
play.
Yes. Just play, exactly. Just play. Allow that inner child to come out and stop taking things so seriously. And when you see that all that stuff you've been holding on inside is put in front of you in artistic form, be it writing or songwriting or different pieces of art, with painting or even dancing or sculpting or knitting. You also do knitting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I go through phases as well with things. Like, for example, I enjoy also cooking a lot. So knitting is one thing that I had a phase that I had a peak of doing a lot of knitting. Then it slowed down. Now cooking, vegan food, that I'm much into that as well now. So I go through phases, and it's all creative because choose ingredients to cook something, you are being creative as well. Like, it's you can play with everything in life, really, if you take it like that.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're such a creative person and you express yourself in so many different ways. And I totally believe and experience it myself the importance of creativity in action. And I think expressing ourselves creatively is a way of getting in touch with life, that life force inside of ourselves that just wants to uh, just feel alive and joyful and blissful. And it's amazing when you start playing with it.
Isn't life the purest form of creativity and the highest form of creativity itself? If we look around and we see how many different expressions of being there are in life, how creative life is, right? So,
Yes.
because we are life as well, we are life within life, and as life, there's no separation, there's an idea of the mind. Then, as life, we also want to create, right? It's like a natural quality of life. So if
Yes.
we are in touch, completely in touch with who we are and our nature, creativity is just gonna flow naturally. And so perhaps the advice I would give to people who feel like they are blocked and cut out from this flow of life, um, to ask for help. Actually, like, they don't have to work it out themselves as well, I would say. And I say this because I found myself sometimes in that dark space that I didn't know how to. So ask for help, go to someone who may help you, for example, art therapist, or I've been to things that many years ago I wouldn't have thought of it, but to have an energy healing session to release blockages, and a major shift occurred with that session, and then immediately manifested in the, you know people around me changed as a result, like, very magically. So yeah, you don't have to work it out all by yourself. And then the more you get in touch with your true nature and your intuition, then life becomes much more magical, effortless,
Yes,
everything.
yes, 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 yes. Oh, I love that. And you're totally right. You don't have to do it all ourselves. I think we got bored of feeling lonely, separated, and disconnected, and it's really time. It's really high time.
Yes.
Let's recognize it together and to reach out for help. And this is why I'm creating this online platform for people to support, encourage, and motivate each other to share our wisdom, our information, our ideas and advice, and support and uplift each other. And indeed, you're right about seeking different modalities, art therapy, energy healing, many others out there. And we're here to support people who like to come to us. I offer energy healing in terms of emotional freedom technique. You offering art therapy for people who are London. They're very welcome to contact you to um, learn how to open up, to express creatively,
Yeah.
and see what happens. See the
Mm.
juiciness and the flavor, sound and color and rhythm of life that flows through you when you do that.
Right. You can share later the meetup group, Creative
You can
Motion.
do it now, please.
Oh, so in Meetup, Creative Motions, I don't know exactly the address, but basically, um, should I check it? Um, well, there is a link in my website, www.marisas.com. So MARISAES.com. There is a link to Creative Motions Meetup group as well there. Yeah, so
Okay, thank you very much
if
for
people
that.
want to know about upcoming workshops or other things that are being announced in that platform, for example, now there's a series of workshops a friend of mine is running on vitality and well-being, which is
Awesome.
also creative, about properties of herbs and the importance of a natural diet. Um, it's really holistic living. Um, it's not just one dimension. There are many dimensions to improve our well-being.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Marisa. Do you have any finalizing thoughts on facing our fears through creativity?
I actually would just encourage everyone to explore anything that they feel this this sensation in their being that they want to explore. Like, just to finish, like recently I qualified as an Indian head massage therapist, and I combined it with Reiki because I did Reiki 1 and 2, and really the results are amazing as well. I enjoy so much, and then people who receive these are so happy as well, with the results, to release tension, to feel relaxed, to remove blockages as well. So there are no limits to what we can do and how we can do it, so long as we are connected to our heart
Hmm.
and do it from this place of authenticity.
Awesome.
So just that, play,
Play.
enjoy,
Exactly.
play.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Marisa. It's
Thank
been
you.
a wonderful exchange. And whenever I meet you, I always feel so inspired and I just want to go and create something else.
Thank you. I love this idea, this that you're doing now. It's really amazing, and it's really a privilege to be part of it. I really thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us and for inspiring us. And thank you, everybody, for watching today's video. I hope you were inspired and you go and create and let your fears go and express and play with it. And if you found this interview useful, please share it on your social media and let your friends know that you're participating at this amazing online challenge for fearless warriors. Join my YouTube channel, Journey to Bliss, and sign up on the link below to get your free Bliss Blueprint with the 3 stages of radical transformation from within. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.